very warm welcome. I am Gushin Galan and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. We begin with the ongoing tensions in Syria. A convoy of Israeli military vehicles, including Humvees and troop transports, was seen entering Syrian territory near the Druze majority town of al-Sharaa. The incursion follows a series of powerful Israeli airstrikes on Damascus. Hundreds have died in sectarian clashes that erupted last week. Israel has demanded the withdrawal of Syrian government forces from the Druze areas in southern Syria, citing a commitment to protecting Druze communities amid escalating regional tensions. Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Sharaa pleaded accountability for the responsible for recent violence targeting the Druze minority in southern Syria. He assured that security responsibilities would return to local authorities and accused Israel of attempting to destabilize Syria. After this, according to War Monitor, Syrian government forces have withdrawn from whole of Sweida province. Yemen's Houthi rebels have claimed they fired a ballistic missile and drones at Israel's Ben Gurion airport near Tel Aviv. The group's military spokesperson Yahya Sari said Zulfikar ballistic missile targeted the civilian airport with additional drone strikes aimed at military sites and the southern port of Eilat. The Israeli military confirmed that missiles from Yemen had been intercepted following air raid sirens sounding across several regions. Israel's ruling coalition led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu suffered a major setback after the ultra-Orthodox Shas party announced its withdrawal from the government. The decision stems from a dispute over the military conscription exemption from religious students. This is the second ultra-Orthodox party to have quit Netanyahu's coalition. Without Shas, Netanyahu now holds only 50 out of 120 seats in the parliament. US President Donald Trump welcomed key Arab Gulf leaders to the White House. He held an official meeting with Bahrain's Crown Prince. The White House confirmed Bahrain agreed to purchase American aircraft, jet engines and computer servers, with potential investments in aluminium production and artificial intelligence. Trump also dined with Qatari Prime Minister in a private setting. Russian forces conducted widespread aerial attacks across 4 Ukrainian cities overnight, severely damaging energy infrastructure and residential areas. A guided aerial block struck a commercial district, killing at least one person and injuring 21 others. The attack damaged 304 apartments across 13 buildings, 54 shops and several vehicles. Local officials condemned the assault, calling it a deliberate act of terror. Bangladeshi security forces clashed with supporters of ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, leaving at least 4 people dead and scores injured. The violence erupted after the student-led National Citizen Party, which led the uprising against Hasina in August last year, announced a march towards the southwestern Gopalganj district, which happens to be Hasina's hometown. Hasina loyalists allegedly attempted to disrupt the rally. As per reports, Air India has completed safety inspections of fuel control switches on its Boeing 787 Dreamliner fleet with no issues reported. The check was conducted following a directive from Indian aviation authorities after a deadly crash in Ahmedabad last month killed 260 people. Investigators are examining whether a malfunction in the fuel switch locks may have contributed to the crash. Satellite imagery confirmed the completion of a new maritime pier at North Korea's Sohae satellite launching station. This signals an increased capacity for handling larger rocket components. The upgraded facility could support longer-range missile and satellite launches, aligning with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's 2022 directive to modernize Sohae. The site has previously been used for tests of rocket engines similar to those used in intercontinental ballistic missiles. In Iraq's Al-Quds city, at least 60 people died after a fire broke out in a shopping market. Viral videos on social media show flames engulfing the 5-story building. Dozens of firefighters were deployed to contain the deadly blaze. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Lawsuits have been filed against the owner of the building and the mall. On to climate news now. The US state of Oregon declared a wildfire emergency on Monday. It is set to last through the end of this year as large fires burnt across the state. Officials issued air quality alerts for Jefferson and Klamath on July 16th due to smoke from 3 major wildfires. The Cram Fire, largest of all, grew to over 64,000 acres in Jefferson County with zero containment as of Wednesday night. Meanwhile, health warnings were given for sensitive groups in several counties. In Turkey, 2 wildfires ravaged through northwestern province overnight on Wednesday. The fire started on Tuesday, marking another outbreak in parts of Turkey. Over 7 towns and villages were evacuated as a precaution, and at least 4 people were taken to the hospital. Firefighters used planes and trucks to contain the flames. The fire was contained on Wednesday after teams battled the flames through the night. According to officials, climate change is making Turkey's summer fires worse each year. Northern Finland is currently experiencing a heat wave. Temperatures in several parts exceeded 30 degrees Celsius. In the summer season, temperatures reach typically up to 20 degrees Celsius. However, climate change is making the red hot weather a common phenomenon. Several residents were seen flocking to the beach to get respite from the weather. Some parts of South Korea were hit by record rainfall, according to the weather department. At least 3 areas in the southwestern region saw the heaviest downpours in over 120 years. Meanwhile, 1 driver was killed after a wall collapsed in Osan amid heavy rainfall. 2 others were rescued from a landslide in the southwestern province, according to officials. The rain was caused by warm air triggering strong instability in parts of the country. According to reports, Alps glaciers and snow melted faster than usual during June's heat wave. In Switzerland, over 1,400 glaciers started melting 5 to 6 weeks earlier than normal. Experts warned that glaciers could vanish entirely by the end of this century due to climate change. Scientists call the situation brutal and concerning for the rest of the summer. On to business and tech news now. Asian stocks struggled for direction earlier today, with investors awaiting tech earnings from TSMC and Netflix, while uncertainty around Jerome Powell's future at the Federal Reserve weighed on the sentiment. Japan's Nikkei slipped 0.24%, while MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan was up 0.06%. Nasdaq futures and S&P 500 futures fell 0.1% each. Australia's unemployment rate jumped to 4.3% last month, the highest level in nearly 3 years, as the country added just 2,000 jobs last month. The weak numbers pushed the Australian dollar lower and made a rate cut in August more likely. Full-time jobs fell by 38,000 and total hours worked also dropped, signalling a slowdown in Australia's once-strong jobs market. Canada's Couche-Tard pulled its $47 billion bid to acquire Japan's 7&I Holdings after months of failed negotiations and limited financial disclosure. The surprise withdrawal ended what could have been the biggest foreign takeover of a Japanese company, sending 7&I shares down 9% in Tokyo trading earlier today. Couche-Tard accused the Japanese retailer of stonewalling talks and rejecting multiple proposals, including a global store merger. President Donald Trump said Coca-Cola had agreed to use real cane sugar in its U.S. beverages after what he called productive talks with the company executives. The move marked a shift from the current formula, which uses high-fructose corn syrup in most U.S. products, and came as part of Trump's Make America Healthy Again initiative. Coca-Cola said it would share details on new offerings soon, while corn industry groups warned of job losses. Volvo Cars said it had cut half of its U.S. lineup this year after new tariffs under President Trump made it too expensive to sell sedans and station wagons in the American market. The company said it had shifted its focus to luxury SUVs as import taxes on cars from Europe and China pushed costs up, especially for models like the S60 and S90. Walmart said it had restructured store support and training roles, eliminating the market coordinator position as part of effort to simplify its U.S. operations. The company also announced changes to its training academies, shifting focus to higher volume locations and promising alternative roles for affected employees. The move followed earlier cuts this year, including 1,500 jobs in tech, e-commerce and advertising, as Walmart dealt with rising costs and tariff pressures. The US Federal Communications Commission said it plans to block companies from using Chinese technology in undersea internet cables linking to the United States. The FCC said the move aims to protect national security, citing threats from foreign adversaries like China. The US has already blocked 4 projects since 2020 that plan to link Hong Kong to America. The new rules would bar equipment from Chinese companies including Huawei, China Telecom and China Mobile from being used in subsea cable networks. A US federal judge dismissed a class action lawsuit against Amazon after the company started showing ads on Prime Video unless users paid an extra $2.99 per month. The plaintiffs claim the change violated their subscriber agreements and breached Washington state consumer laws as Prime was initially promoted as an ad-free service. The US Federal Aviation Administration told lawmakers it was not considering replacing its telecommunication contracts with L3Harris and Verizon Communications with services from the Starlink unit of Elon Musk's SpaceX. FAA Administrator Brian Bradford told Congress there was no effort by SpaceX to take over existing contracts and said Starlink could not be used as the sole technology for safety-critical air traffic services. OpenAI added Google Cloud to its supplier list after finalizing a deal in May to boost computing capacity for AI development. The ChatGPT owner was already relying on Microsoft Oracle and CoreWeave, but moved to diversify amid growing demand for cloud infrastructure. The shift away from exclusive dependence on Microsoft followed multi-billion-dollar deals with CoreWeave and SoftBank, including their massive $500 billion Stargate data center project. Moving to sports, we begin with chess. India's Grandmaster Ramesh Babu Pragnananda delivered a sensational victory over world number 1 Magnus Carlsen at the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour in Las Vegas. The 19-year-old outplayed the 5-time world champion in just 39 moves. In cricket, India beat England by 4 wickets in the first of the 3-match women's ODI series. After taking to field in Southampton, the hosts put 258 runs on the scoreboard. Sophia Dunkley scored 83 runs as Sneha Rana and Kranti Gaud struck 2 wickets each. In response, powered by Deepti Sharma's unbeaten knock of 62 runs, India chased down the target with 10 balls remaining. Sharma was also awarded Player of the Match. Bangladesh beat Sri Lanka by 8 wickets in the third and final T20 match of their series. Batting first in Colombo, the hosts could put just 132 runs on the scoreboard. This as Bangladesh's Mehdi Hassan struck 4 wickets by giving away just 11 runs. Bangladesh chased down the total with 21 balls remaining, with Tanzir Hassan staying unbeaten at 73 runs. Bangladesh's Mehdi Hassan was awarded Player of the Match. Lithawan Das took home the Player of the Series honour. England were fined 10% of their match fee and penalised 2 World Test Championship points for maintaining a slow over rate. England were ruled to be 2 overs short of the target in Lord's Test by the global cricket body ICC. England captain Ben Stokes pleaded guilty to the offence and accepted the proposed sanction, so there was no need for a formal hearing. In football, Cristiano Girelli shot Italy into the semi-finals of Women's Euro 2025 with a brace. With this, Italy beat Norway 2-1 in the quarter-finals. Italy will play one of holders England or Sweden in the last 4 next Tuesday. Lionel Messi's Inter Miami suffered a 3-0 loss at the Major League agent FC Cincinnati. US midfielder Gerardo Valenzuela opened the scoring for Cincinnati in the 16th minute. Brazilian striker Evander followed with a goal in the 50th minute. He struck again in the 70th to provide all scoring the hosts needed. Young Barcelona star Lamin Yamal inherited the club's number 10 shirt previously worn by all-time great Lionel Messi. The 18-year-old winger signed a new contract with Barcelona until 2031 in May as one of the best-paid players at the club. In badminton, the Indian contingent in Japan Open continues to suffer from the early exits. Lakshya Sen, the Paris Olympics semi-finalist, crashed out of the tournament in the second round. 7th seed and home favourite Kodai Naraoka beat the Indian in straight games. Meanwhile, top Indian men's doubles pair Satvik Sairaj, Raniki Reddy and Chirag Shetty also crashed out of the Japan Open. The Indians lost to their Chinese opponents 22-24, 14-21. This marks the end of Indian campaign in the men's double format at Japan Open. Women's world number one Ariana Grande has withdrawn from the WTA Canadian Open. Sabalenka cited fatigue as the reason of her withdrawal from the Montreal tournament. The 27-year-old from Belarus, runner-up at the Australian and French Opens, recently finished as one of the semi-finalists at Wimbledon. And finally, in entertainment news, the iconic main stage at Belgium's Tomorrowland Electronic Music Festival was destroyed by fire. This is just a day before the event's opening. Organizers confirmed that no injuries occurred and stated that the festival, including events, would proceed as planned. Efforts are underway to provide solutions for the upcoming performances. British actor Emma Watson has been banned from driving for 6 months after being caught speeding in Oxford last July. The 35-year-old, known for her role in Harry Potter, was fined nearly $1,400 by High Wycombe Magistrates Court. Watson did not attend the hearing. She reportedly had 9 penalty points on her license prior to this incident. A judge has dismissed Jed Wallace, a social media consultant from Blake Lively's lawsuit claiming a smear campaign was conducted against her ahead of the film It Ends With Us. The U.S. District Court ruled that New York was not a proper jurisdiction for the suit against Wallace. Lively has until July 31st to refile or amend the complaint. Singer and actor Ariana Grande addressed fan speculation about her future in music, clarifying via social media that she has no intention of abandoning it. Although currently focused on acting projects including Wicked and Oh the Places You'll Go, Grande promised fans she would return to music next year, stating it remains her lifeline. And finally, Oscar-winning actor Wen Phoenix has opened up about his controversial 2009 appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman, describing it as both a creative risk and one of the worst experiences of his life. Phoenix told Stephen Colbert that the interview, part of a mockumentary project, ultimately felt really dangerous and emotionally taxing. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gushin Galan and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.